How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the MGSR server. If you haven't seen the last episode, we finished placing in all the sand for the underwater base, as well as building this potion brewer. But let's head down towards the underwater base, and I'll let you guys see where we're at. So as of right now, everything below this block of cobblestone is sand. So let's build a staircase down, and we'll actually start deleting it, because there's quite a bit of sand to delete, and that way in the next video, we can start gathering some materials to put inside of the underwater base. So we're going to start it off by putting a time lapse of me placing in a bunch of torches for the underwater base, and I will see you guys once I'm done. Alright everyone, I'm done for now. I did about 5 rows, and so far it's not taken too long. I think we should be able to get it done in this video. As we did the top floor, we put redstone lamps on the floor of it, and we're going to do the same for the bottom floor. But I think currently we are very low on our glowstone supply, so we're going to head to the portal and gather some glowstone, and I'll do another time lapse for that, and I'll see you guys once I'm done. Unfortunately, I was not able to get that much glowstone, but I think we should have enough between the amount that I have in my inventory and the amount that we have in the chests, because I think we only need about 50 redstone lamps, which is only 50 glowstone. So I'm going to put the stuff in the chest, and I'm going to grab some more torches and once again work my way down to the bottom floor of the underwater base and start deleting some of the sand, and I'll do a shortened time lapse this time of me clearing the sand, and I will see you guys at the end of the time lapse. I actually already emptied my inventory once, but as you guys can see, it is full again. So I'm just going to head back up and empty my inventory and put the sand in the chests on the right, because those were the chests that were designated towards the big project, even though they were mostly designated to things that we were doing, like the sand. I'm still going to put them on this side because we might need them in the future. And I may have to craft up a few more chests because I did have to gather some sand from the sand biome. So I'm going to craft up some chests, and I'm going to continue on with the time lapse. This one may be a little longer of a time lapse because I'm going to be working at deleting the sand for quite a while. But I will see you guys at the end of the time lapse, and we're actually going to be building something a little bit different. This is where we're at. We're actually getting towards the end. We only got a few rows left, but I am starting to clear the mountain, which is taking me a little bit longer. But for right now, I'll do a really short time lapse of me gathering some of the equipment that we're going to be using for the 16 block item dropper where we're going to be putting food inside of it, and I can just hit a button to get quite a bit of food. So I'll see you guys after that short time lapse. Alright everyone, I'm ready to start building it, and I'm just making sure it's in the right spot because we are going to need to be able to get to that back corner in a later video. So to make this 16 block item dropper, you can either hit the card in the top right of your screen, but I'm also going to be explaining it in a little sped up time lapse for you guys on how to build it. So I will see you guys at the end of that time lapse. Alright everyone, so to build it you need 2 droppers facing towards the front of the build with 2 blocks of choice underneath them. Then decide which side you want your button on. I'm going to be putting mine on the left, but from the back of the build it's going to be on the right. Then put a repeater facing the back of the build on 4-tick delay. Then face an observer behind it facing towards the outside of the build, so for me it's to the left. Then from there you're going to put a sticky piston facing upwards directly below it, so you may have to delete the observer to get this to work, or you can just jump like I did and eventually you should be able to get it to work. Then you're going to get an observer above it going in the opposite direction. Then you can delete your block of choice. Then you're actually going to be putting a block right next to this observer and a piece of redstone right there, and there you have it. Alright everyone, I'm now back. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I did forget to mention in the time lapse though to put your button in. Just be sure that the repeater is where the button is or else it will not work. And as you guys can see, I just put some redstone in and I was able to get exactly 16 redstone. If you put different blocks in there, let's say you put like sand and gravel, and then you put sand and gravel in the other one, you will get an assortment of sand and gravel. You won't just get one of a kind. But I think this is a very good distance for the corner, which once again we will be needing in a later video, because it almost matches this corner, even though this cobblestone generator goes out a little bit farther than the 16 block item dropper. So now I'm going to head towards the chest and start gathering as much food as I have. If I have any raw food, I'll be sure to put them in the furnace, because I want as much cooked food and carrots and melons and things that don't need to be cooked in the 16 block item dropper. So I'll do a quick time lapse of me gathering some of the food, and I'll see you guys at the end. I actually had a lot more food than I expected in my chests, so let's do our best to even it out, and I'll be sure to take out this redstone because I don't want to hit the button and end up getting redstone. I want to be able to be getting food. I also didn't realize how much raw food I have, so I'm going to have to put those in the furnace. Right now I have some cooking, but I couldn't put it all in at once. So I'm just going to put the cooked stuff in here for now, and we'll be sure to test it out. But first let me just put all this in there. This is all raw, I think. Oh, this cooked fish, we'll put half in there and half in there. The reason I'm trying to even it out is because you get 8 drops from each dropper, and I want to be sure that they have about the same amount, so that way I'm not just getting 8, I'm actually getting 16 drops when I hit the button. Speaking of cooked food, let's go see if we have any cooked chickens in the chicken farm. Looks like we have 11, so that is pretty good. But before we put them in the 16 block item dropper, let's check the melons to see how many we have in there. Wow, this thing's working pretty good now that I got it to work. Looks like we got about 90 drops. So I'm going to split it up and put half in this dropper and half in the other dropper. I don't think I have any other food on me. Nope, I don't. So let's hit the button and see the assortment that we get. Okay, that's pretty wide assortment. So it's probably going to fill up like 8 or so stacks. But as you guys can see, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, and 16. So it does work for 16 items. Though I don't know why you would want 8 different slots or so of food. But I'm going to split these back up and put them back in these droppers. If you were going on a mining trip or using this for a mining trip, I would recommend putting the same food in here. But for the reasons that I need it, I can just put random foods in there and just hit the button and just fill up a few spots. Unfortunately, that is all the time I have for today's video. But as you guys can see, we got pretty far in clearing the sand. We are going to finish that in the next episode, as we are only about 8 rows left from completing it. In the next video, we are going to build some sort of bed timer, because I want to be able to know when I can fall asleep, and I currently have one in my redstone world. So I'm going to hopefully build that, and hopefully it will work, though I'm not sure if it'll work because the daylight sensors might not work through water. because even if I make the block above the daylight sensor glass, I don't know if it's going to work through water. So we're going to test that out in the next episode. But unfortunately, that is all the time I have for today's video. Be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button and set post notifications to all, because I'm posting on the MGSR server every other day. You can also message me on my Instagram at MGSR Gaming if you have any ideas for future videos on the MGSR server. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Click on the top left to watch a video that YouTube recommends for you, and click on the right to subscribe.